What's up, y'all? You're watching Union Minded. I'm your host, Eric, and today we're going to talk about a great example that was just had in New York during a strike where the police have shown that they will always be on the side of capital. You may be thinking, what is capital? That's just a word. I don't understand. What is capital? Capital is the ruling class, the owner class. Right now, there are strikes going on across the country at Amazon fulfillment centers and delivery centers. Teamsters are striking Amazon because Amazon refuses to bargain in good faith after the drivers and the Amazon warehouses voted to form a union. Amazon has been unresponsive as far as negotiating in good faith. So the Teamsters have called a strike, and lo and behold, the NYPD came in to hassle strikers, to arrest striking workers, to break the picket line and allow deliveries to continue happening. The entire system is built to protect the ruling class, and this is a great example of how it happened. So in these times, put out an article today, and I want to read it to you. New York NYPD arrests workers during historic Amazon strike. On December 19th, more than 100 Amazon workers organizing with the Teamsters launched a cascade of unfair practice strikes from coast to coast at the logistics giant. At the picket line in Queens, New York police arrested and released Anthony Rosario, a Teamsters organizer, and Jogerson Cardenas, one of the striking workers, and then threatened mass arrests before breaking the line in two to allow vans through. 6 other facilities in California, Illinois, and Georgia are also on strike, and the JFK 8 fulfillment center in Staten Island, New York will soon follow. The Teamsters are striking Amazon because the company refuses to recognize the unions at its delivery stations and fulfillment center and bargain with its workers. The union has argued that under the new joint employer standard, the delivery drivers are also legally employees of Amazon, which Amazon disputes. In response, the Teamsters put Amazon bosses on the clock to provide bargaining dates by December 15th or face nationwide strikes before the holiday shopping bonanza. The strike began at 6 a.m. at delivery station DBK4 in Maspeth, New York, where workers transport orders to customers' doorsteps in the New York City metro area. Hours into the strike, the New York Police Department responded to the planned disruption to the company's operations with 2 arrests. The first was of Amazon driver Jogerson Cardenas, who says he joined the union push at the urging of his nephew but didn't realize the strike had begun when he showed up to work today. He stopped his van as striking co-workers shouted for him to join them. "We were surrounding the van and we told him to get out. Come join us," says Latrice Johnson, a driver at one of Amazon's 8 subcontractors at DBK4, whom I've interviewed about the union's campaign in September. He was listening and he wanted to know more, and the police stopped that, and they kept telling him to keep it moving. He was saying, "How am I going to go anywhere? The people are here. I can't hit people." NYPD officers swarmed Cardenas, blocking him in the cab of his van and ultimately arresting him after he attempted to leave his vehicle over shouts of "let him go" from fellow workers and allies. To see that man wrongfully snatched out of the van while he's at work on the clock reminded Johnson of her brother's encounters with police, and I stood up for him like I would for any one of those people out here, like we all family. Johnson joined others demanding Cardenas' release and trailed the police as they marched Cardenas down the street to a patrol car. An officer grabbed her by the waist and flung her back and then shoved her. The second arrest was of Anthony Rosario, Teamsters organizer and former UPS driver, who was a leader in the '97 UPS strike. Rosario says he and the workers were complying with police officers' demand to let one truck through every 2 to 3 minutes. When police began trying to let more trucks through, he says he continued to walk using my right. And they just decided to arrest me. So at the end of the day, they're violating not only our First Amendment rights, but they're violating all the workers' rights on this picket line. Workers stood strong on picket lines, disrupting deliveries. Police threatened mass arrests with zip ties in hand, though they did not follow through as workers united to defend each other. Eventually, police barricaded the picket line and cleared a path for trucks to leave the delivery station unimpeded. So there they were, setting it up so that Capitol can do what Capitol does. Amazon directed comment requests to NYPD, saying it was the police who chose to detain the individuals. You'd be foolish to believe there weren't phone calls made. The NYPD did not respond by publication time. In a previous statement, Amazon spokesperson Kelly Natel told In These Times, the strike is illegal and the Teamsters do not represent thousands of Amazon workers. Rosario and Cardenas were released with support from the Teamsters legal team. We are all together in this. That's the only way we're going to get what we want, said Cardenas afterwards, alternating between speaking in Spanish and English. We got to keep fighting. If we don't fight, we're not going to get more money and more benefits because, believe it or not, we deliver more packages than UPS and FedEx. Teamsters Local 804 President Vincent Peroni views the fight at Amazon as a do-or-die moment to uphold industry standards across the logistics industry. When you look at these Amazon drivers and warehouse workers, they have to pay for their own medical, said Peroni. They have no pensions. They're making half the hourly wage of UPS employees. UPS and FedEx used to dominate the industry. Now this shithole company comes up that's worth $1 trillion and they're sending people off into space, but they want to pay people like shit. We have to change that, and we are going to change it right now. Asked how he felt upon his release, Cardenas said, I feel like a hero because I had the courage to stop my van. Solidarity with these Teamsters who are striking Amazon. Solidarity is the only way. It would be lovely if the rest of the drivers inside of that facility saw that strike outside and said, no way I'm crossing that picket line, and got out of their vans and refused to drive the packages out of the building. It would have been a far more impressive stance and an impressive action to get everybody better wages. Class solidarity, guys. Worker solidarity, solidarity across all employment sectors. We cannot continue to separate ourselves from the working class. We are the working class, and we must have solidarity, especially now that the billionaires have taken over all of the levers of power on the federal level. With that action alone, we're going to need mutual aid more than ever. We're going to need to have compassion with each other more than ever. We're going to need to help each other more than ever. Have you seen the tax plan that's going out there? Everybody's taxes are going to go up unless you make more than $360,000 a year. That's the reality of what we're facing, and you're not going to hear about it in your circles. You're just not, because they're not going to brag about the stuff they're doing to harm you. But I'm telling you, right now, the government's getting ready to go into a lockdown. And the reason it's happening is because the billionaires have taken over. This is Elon Musk's doing. But we can't worry about what they're going to do. We're going to have to worry about taking care of each other and building up this community. It's going to have to be mutual aid. It's going to have to be solidarity. And that's how we take it back. And labor has got to be on the forefront of that fight. We cannot have labor playing as if it's the same old game it's always been, because it's not. It hasn't been. The billionaire class has been dominating. They've been stealing from every single working class person in the country, including labor and non-union labor alike. We got to do better. I'm doing my best. I hope you join me in doing your best, and let's fight back and let's live up to our oaths of office and our oath to the IBEW, and let's make those words mean something. You know what I mean? To fight for a higher standard of citizenship. Let's make that mean something. Let's be about that. Everybody loves to act so tough, and they love to act like they're such Billy badasses, but when it comes to fighting the real fight, they all cower in their living rooms playing Call of Duty. We need everybody, guys. We need everybody. My name is Eric. You're watching Union Minded. Remember, the fight's not left and right. It's up and down. It's going to take solidarity to win always. Each one teach one. Get out there and reach one. And remember, there can be no union without you and I front and center. Peace.